Yeah, the situation I'm envisioning is like a neighborhood party, neighborhood barbecue. All the kids are out playing together in the front yard one night, something like that. Kind of talking to someone I know a little bit, or on a treadmill next to someone at a gym or something like that. I think I would kind of start by saying, hey, I was reading the news the other day and I saw this story about a lady who was a chef and she was trying to feed the homeless like every Tuesday night for a couple of years. She would
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know she would go and give food to the homeless people outside. She'd cook extra at her job and bring it out, and I think that's an awesome idea. But she's actually being fined $2,000 for feeding the homeless.
What?
I know it doesn't make sense, does it?
Why? There's got to be something else.
No, there's 71 cities in America that have it's against the law to feed the homeless, to give free food to someone or to share food with someone.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me why the government would have to get involved in that. Like, why do we need to tell people who they can feed or not? I mean, her point here, she's fighting this and she's not going to pay it, and she says, I'm Christian and I'm commanded in the Bible, if I see someone going hungry, I need to give them food. This is a religious belief for me, that's why I do it, and they're trying to get me to stop. But I don't know, I agree with her. I think she should be able to help her neighbor.
Well, you said the government stopped her. What? Like, I mean, I don't understand that.
Well, the city of San Antonio, she was giving food out like she always does, and a local police officer came up and said she can't do that and gave her a citation for a $2,000 fine for feeding the homeless.
What?
Yeah, I guess it's been happening in other places. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he mentioned a 90-year-old man in Florida might get thrown in jail for feeding the homeless as well.
That's disgusting. That's absolutely.
And I like when things are at the personal level. It's so much easier and more effective if I want to help someone to just walk over and give them my extra food. My wife and I went out to dinner. We have a big carry-out. We couldn't eat everything. Why can't I give that to the guy on the street corner who needs food? To me, that seems like a good idea. I mean, I think we should be able to help people however we want.
That's braver than me. I would never even think about doing that. Totally, you should be able to do that. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, part of this is kind of why I pay attention to politics and news and things like that is, when I hear there's ordinances like you can't feed the homeless or you can only do it at certain hours or in certain places or something, I like to.
But this is not something that's happening in Washington, right? This is not a DC thing. Because I hate how they bicker. It really just I can't deal with that.
No, it's not a DC thing. As I mentioned earlier, there's 71 cities now that have laws on the books. As far as I know, there's no federal law. It's just in your cities, which is kind of why it's important to pay attention to local things. You never really know what's going on. That's why I like to pay attention to stories, learn what's going on in my local government, stuff like that.
Is there anything like this happening near us?
No, there isn't in Salt Lake right now, but you can definitely stay involved. I can give you some good news sources to read or some good people to follow on social media or whatever that can get this kind of thing out to you if you want.
Awesome. Yeah, please, thanks.
Because we got to make sure it doesn't happen here. That's good. That was nice. Well done, guys. Very well done.
You want to have an actual conversation instead of just sort of, foaming at the mouth and yelling at them saying, can you believe this horrible nonsense that's happening?
You want to give the clickbait headline to get them to listen and say, what? You do that. Can you believe that they threw that 90-year-old guy in jail for just trying to feed the homeless? Well, had you ever heard of anything like that? And shut up and let them talk.